Warning, the following video is raw and unscripted. Ranting and rambling may occur. Viewer discretion is advised.
Don't let the ghosts and the ghouls disturb you.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Josh from Nightmare on Woodsboro Lake, coming at you live here. It is Sunday night. I just got back from my trip to Utah this last weekend, and like the middle of last week I left, so I just got back this morning, and tonight I watched Halloween Kills because I finally got the chance to, and holy freaking crap, dude. I don't even know where to begin with this movie. By the end of it, I was just shell-shocked. I mean, one thing I can give away at the moment, because I'm going to break this video down into two, or I mean not into two videos, but two sections, and the first part is just going to be, my thoughts and non-spoiler review of the movie. And then the second half, I will let you know when that second half starts. You can back out of this video before that second part kicks in, and I spoil the movie for you. But yeah, going into this movie, I mean, honestly, didn't know exactly what to expect in a lot of aspects. A few things I was certain of is obviously there is going to be a Halloween end, so I knew that Michael Myers was not going to be finished. I mean, anybody can tell you that. That's not a spoiler. And the second thing was it was going to pick up, obviously, where Halloween 2018 ended and continue from that point in the movie. So I knew where it was going to start. I knew somehow something was going to happen by the end, that Michael Myers was going to be still kicking and ready for another sequel. So, but the rest of it was all just going into it blindly. I avoided all these spoilers and all these videos that people talking about Halloween Kills, and that's because I didn't want to hear anything about it. I wanted to go into this blindly. I wanted to make up my own mind about how the movie was to me. I was going to go in there with somebody else's review in mind and kind of have a preconceived notion of how the movie was going to go based on what someone else said. So, with that being said, I was pleasantly surprised by this movie. In a lot of aspects, I feel that it was better than the 2018 one. I really enjoyed that one, don't get me wrong, but it was a fantastic follow-up in my opinion. Some of the subject matter that it was even underlying and kind of subliminal was fantastic too. I mean, it really touched on some topics that have been plaguing mankind since the dawn of time, and I feel like a lot of people just don't ever pay attention to that and kind of forget its place in our history and our future. But yeah, I mean, I really liked a lot of the subtopics within this horror movie, because obviously I'm there for the horror. I mean, I love when they like touch on some subjects, like that's what George A. Romero was famous for in a lot of his zombie movies, was touching on a deeper rooted subject underlying in the movie that some people didn't pick up on. I mean, some people go in there and they can't read between the lines, and I mean, it's cool when you can and you can kind of pick that out and you're like, wow, that was oddly deep for a movie that's about, you know, a serial killer that is literally casting a real dark shadow on this place, you know, this town. I really liked the way that they worked in certain characters from the past, and brought them to the current state and time of Halloween Kills, and just getting to see them and how they were affected, and how that changed their perspective going into adulthood. It was really, really cool to see. Sorry, this is really hard to formulate when I'm trying not to give spoilers away yet. And the fact is that I'm going into this raw, of course, and unscripted, as always, as my intro video always states. But yeah, it was just a fun watch. I mean, the body count was immense. Michael Myers was not fucking around this movie. He was out for blood, and anybody in his way got royally, shit, I don't even know how to put it. They got butchered, skewered, just mutilated. So I really felt that in this movie he definitely upped the kill count. Sorry, Deadbeat James, not trying to take your term. But yeah, Michael Myers really upped the ante in this movie, and the mask looked amazing. And I'm sure if you've all seen the trailer, then you know that there is a point where we do see him with his mask off. And since the fire incident, and he looked amazing underneath the mask too. I mean, you could see that he had been through some shit, dude. So that was cool to see too. Not just the mask, you know, like, I mean, the mask in itself was amazing. Like, I think that's like one of the best looking masks in the whole series. But between Michael and the other returning characters, I mean, it was good to see, like, just how this town came together to try to douse out this evil that's been such a curse on their town for so long, and they are just fed up with it. You know, it's no more hiding, locking your doors, and just praying that you're gonna make it to see sunrise and live another day. It's about going out and making sure that your community, your family, your friends are no longer facing constant danger and have to worry about what lurks in the shadows. So they were definitely very proactive in this movie, and I enjoyed that change in pace rather than like him picking off people here and there and then them finding bodies like down the road. Like, these people wanted to face the evil that has been put a stake on this town, and not cowering anymore. So overall, I mean, shit, I'd give this movie definitely easily an 8.5 out of 10, if not a 9. It was super solid. There was some things that really pissed me off. I mean, not pissed me off, but like rubbed me the wrong way and like made me think like how stupid are some of these characters, like just some of the actions that they took and ways that they approach things and their thought process. I'm like, come on, you've got to be smarter than that. Which, you know, we always run into that problem in a lot of horror movies. I'm pretty sure the majority of horror movies, people aren't thinking through like 100%, which, I mean, I can't completely say that, you know, they should be having like a clear, concise thought process when such an event is taking place. You know, I haven't been in that position where I'm being threatened by a serial killer and, you know, have lost people and have experienced these things, so I can't quite, you know, judge on that. I mean, so I guess I should half retract what that comment, because I definitely can't say that I've been in their shoes. So, but overall, a super solid movie. If you haven't checked it out yet, it's in cinemas now. If not, Peacock, if you have it, if you have premium, I know that they are streaming it on that service as well. So one way or another, I would definitely give it a watch if you are a fan of Michael Myers or the more recent Halloween movies and the original. I mean, I know it is skewed from the timeline that they had built with, you know, 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, you know, that route, and with like H2O and Resurrection, all that stuff no longer exists in this universe. But if you enjoyed the original and the 2018, definitely follow up with this movie. I can't say you won't be disappointed or you'll love it, because it's all subjective to the viewer. But I absolutely love this movie. It was so good, and minus the quarrels that I had with it, it really exceeded expectations in other areas. So, yeah. All right. So now we're at the point. I'm going to go into spoilers. So if you don't want to know anything about this movie, I suggest you click out of the video now. Otherwise, you're going to hear some things. So, yeah, going into this movie, I really enjoyed the flashback kind of scenes, even though they were shot obviously because they couldn't produce footage from the 1978 one without, when it didn't exist, you know. So they recreated the 1978 movie with some backstory on some of the characters and things that they experienced the night that Michael Myers came home. And I thought that they were done so well, like between the composition of the music that sounded exactly like the original. I don't know if they like just, you know, took and brought in that original soundtrack or if they like remastered it or anything, but it sounded fantastic. The cinematography was absolutely spot on. Bringing Michael Myers back in that original mask from the first movie, for those scenes was awesome, and just kind of getting to see some of the things that occurred on that night that affected these people, that they bring back for Halloween Kills, between the nurse Marion, who was attacked in the vehicle. I think that was around the beginning when he escaped. She returns, and the babysitter Lindsay is back, as well as Tommy Doyle and Sheriff Hawkins. Obviously, he was in 2018. We all saw that. So, and oh man, I'm drawing a blank on the other officer's name, or the guy who worked for the Haddonfield Hospital. His daughter was killed in the first one. But bringing them all back and shooting that, showing those clips was really, really cool. I thought that added like a real unique touch to the movie, and getting to see, well, it was, if you pay close enough attention, it was definitely not Dr. Loomis. It was not Donald Pleasant. But seeing, like Dr. Loomis again, that was always fun, because I found him to be a very intriguing character, and his obsession with Michael and his take on Michael, and how he truly thought he was the incarnation of evil, which, I mean, as you watch the movies, you realize that he is not, there's no like particular motive that you find. He's just a kid he was a kid with some deep-rooted issues that caused him to snap, and then obviously kill his sister and kill all these other people. So those whole sequences were really cool. I guess that's what I'm getting at. Long story short. And earlier in the video, I did mention some of the subliminal stuff that I picked up on in the movie, and one of them is the mob mentality, and how, with the right motivation and kind of poking and prodding, and kind of like the getting up on the soapbox, kind of like leader follower aspect. People will do anything, and once they get the momentum going, it's hard to stop it. And that was very apparent in the scene where another one of the mental patients that had escaped, that they didn't round up the night that Michael Myers made it off that bus, came to the hospital and was seeking help, and everybody thought that he was Michael Myers, and obviously a lot of them didn't like put that two and two together, and the ones that had seen Michael Myers before, like, obviously he's not this tall, slender man. This guy was short, missing hair, and he was really bald with a bit of hair left on his head, but like, he was no Michael Myers. Like, anybody who had ever come in contact with him would have known that right away. And so they're chasing this guy down through the hospital, and the guy is super scared, and they just have this mentality, kill, kill, evil dies tonight, like, that's Michael Myers, get him. So they literally corner this guy up on both sides on this floor, and his last resort was he went and broke the window out with a fire extinguisher and literally killed himself, out of fear, and the fact that these people were coming to like tear him limb from limb, thinking that he was this mass murderer. And it was kind of sad to watch. Kind of struck a chord. And so it's just one of those things that, like I said, when they pick up momentum, they wouldn't listen to reason. They wouldn't hear Laurie and Karen out about the fact that that's not him. That's not Michael. Like, stop, you guys. This is an innocent man. Like, so, um, yeah, that was a really like dark scene. I feel like, and man, the gore was um, so realistic. It is so crazy how far we've come with practical effects and like gore in movies nowadays. Like before, it would look so cheesy and so fake, but God, they've nailed it. I feel like if half this crap that happened in this movie happened um, to like people in real life, that I feel like it probably looked like that. So seeing that dude splattered on the pavement because he jumped from really high up um, was slightly jarring. Um, I mean, I'm not like squeamish, but like it was just seeing this innocent man jump and then seeing his remains on the pavement was just um, and obviously anybody who's seen the trailer is going to know about this, but like there's been a lot of controversy and a lot of people trying to like they were trying to get the scene where the firefighters come to like check out the house, and obviously they're going to be it's a residential place, it's not like a business, but like making sure that there's no one in the house, and if there is, to get them out. And Michael Myers gets a hold of all these firefighters and just totally massacres all these first responders. They were trying to get that scene cut from the movie. I mean, Michael Myers doesn't care who he's killing. I mean, nobody has made an uproar about him killing cops in previous movies. Like, um, you know, obviously firefighters would have come to the scene because there's a freaking fire going on. You can't just pretend like that fire did not happen and that nobody came, and then how would he have escaped? That would leave so many holes that they would have to try to reconfigure, and Michael doesn't care. As some of the horror shorts I've seen say, no lives matter, and in this world, in the Halloween and like horror movie scene, like they don't care who you are. I mean, unless you're Jason. Jason never seems to kill kids. He only kills teenagers and adults. But like Michael Myers, he doesn't have any, like, there's no line in the sand. He will kill anybody. Um, I mean, look at 2018. He freaking killed that kid in the car, the one that was out going hunting with his dad. Um, but it's just crazy, like the things that people fight over nowadays, and that they are trying to censor everything. Um, I mean, would they care if it was, like a gym teacher or somebody, a part of like a school faculty, or you know like somebody that works in the church? Like, I've never heard an uproar in regards to any other people or like job field that gets killed in these movies. Like, but all of a sudden there's this huge uproar about firefighters. Like, I mean, I get it. It sucks. Like, they were going to help and try to save people, but um, that's just how that goes in that sequence. I mean, that would have been a huge chunk of movie. Like, that would have led to, like, well, how did he escape? Like, it would have left so many holes that um, would have had to been filled somehow or explained. And I don't know, that's just a waste of time. So um, I don't really agree with that wanting to take that out of the movie. But man, they really went ballsy with this movie. Um, the way that they killed off so many of these characters, that they made it so important to bring back for Halloween Kills. It was just crazy to see that they were willing to just frickin' wipe out the chessboard. I mean, shit, well, obviously Officer Hawkins survives, but the fact that they took out Marion, the nurse, they took out Tommy Doyle at the end of the movie, and at the very end, like, oh my god, what blew my mind was that they had the balls to take out Laurie's daughter. Like, I was shocked. I knew they were. I had this feeling that they were going to take out like an important character. I didn't know if they were going to take out Laurie and, you know, have Allison and Karen finish what she started and finally put Michael to rest and Halloween Ends. I wasn't sure where they were going to go, but, you know, they killed Allison's boyfriend. They killed Lonnie, her boyfriend's dad. Shoot, they really didn't hold back. I mean, Lindsay survived, which is good. At least they kept her and Sheriff Hawkins and, I mean, Laurie and Allison alive. But now Allison has no parents. Like, I mean, the thing that's got me tripping was that a real sequence, or is that gonna just be like some kind of like dream state that she's in? Like, she like zones out and like has like this, I don't know, I don't want to say premonition, but some kind of like, you know, is it gonna like, is that like a false kind of ending where we're like, oh shit, they just killed off a huge like main character from these movies, and it totally not be like it's just some kind of like daydream or something as she's staring out that window over Haddonfield in Myers' home. So I don't know, that ending just had me all kinds of effed up. I'm like, are you kidding me? I mean, not that she was like my favorite character in the series ever, but like, shoot, I don't know. I just wasn't expecting. I wasn't expecting that. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, it would have been more detrimental if they would have taken out Laurie, but I just didn't expect her daughter to go. But that's going to just be more fuel for the fire when it comes to Halloween Ends. Laurie is going to be just livid. And now Allison only has her grandmother left. She doesn't have her dad since he got killed in 2018 one. And now she doesn't have a mom. So I think that that's going to also like have a huge catastrophic like effect on just her as a person, and because this is like a huge transition. Like, she is in high school about to become an adult. This is going to be just like how it is for Laurie, I feel like. I mean, she's never going to trust anyone, and she's going to be, who knows, she might be paranoid from this now. Like, I mean, with Halloween Ends, hopefully, as much as I enjoy watching the movies, hopefully it's the end of Michael Myers, you know, not just another, like, movie where it's supposed to be the end, but is it, question mark? Like, I mean, hopefully, like, they continuously chant in the movie, evil dies. Obviously, it didn't die that night, but hopefully it dies when we return to Halloween Ends. Another moment in the movie that I was just like, holy shit, was they finally have him surrounded at the end, and they're like, you know, go be with your daughter, Karen. We've got this. And they're all like taking turns like beating the shit out of Michael Myers and like shooting him and like just beating the crap out of him with a baseball bat. Um, and then she's really talking about how there's like little narration and like cutscenes to Laurie saying how that no man could have survived what Michael has gone through, and that they feel like with each and every kill that he's transcending and becoming just this pure um, incarnation of evil, just like um, almost this entity of just like hell. I mean, um, and then he like gets up and he just starts fucking these people up, like stabbing them and freaking strangling them, and like, dude, he just goes to town on this whole group of people, and it was just like the firefighter scene. He like massacred a huge amount of people in such a short amount of time. It shows like how much of a threat Michael Myers really is. I mean, I don't think he was ever anything to take lightly, but I never pictured him being able to just freaking demolish like a crowd of people in a matter of moments. And it just showed how brutal and how evolved he is as um, the shape. So crazy. Oh my gosh. That movie just was so good in so many ways. A lot of the kills were freaking crazy. Like he went out there with some of the kills. I mean, like there was that scene. He's in the kitchen, or he's what kills the husband. They find him in the bathroom, and he comes and he just like beats this dude's head in, and like uses like the glass from the window and just kind of like totally just screws this dude up. And the wife is literally watching this happen, and then she starts to try to escape, and I don't know, for some reason she stops, and I don't know if she was just paralyzed with fear. I mean, she could have, I feel like she could have made it out the door, but she ended up standing there, and Michael Myers takes out one of like those bar lights out of like over, I think it was like over the stove or like somewhere right there, and he takes it, breaks it, and just freaking stabs her in the neck with it. I mean, props to him for like being, like the MacGyver of killing people, I guess. um, he just seems to pick up stuff and he uses as a weapon. Like, I mean, who would have thought to take out the freaking light over the stove and bust it and then stab somebody with it? I mean, he's obviously kills a lot of people with his iconic butcher knife, but he got a little inventive. Um, he's gotten inventive with like his kills, like as like dark as it was, like seeing in 2018 when he had the dude's head carved out like a fucking pumpkin. That was sick. In both senses, both as like, damn, that was nasty. That's nasty that he like literally hollowed out this dude's head and made him a fucking jack-o'-lantern, as well as like, damn, that was creative and that's cool. Like, cause obviously like pumpkins are a big thing with the franchise. Like on the covers, like the pumpkin skull, and like obviously the iconic pumpkin. That's been in a lot of the title credit, like the title credit cards. Um, but seeing him turn that into like a kill was really cool and inventive. God, I could go on all night about this movie because it was a really fun watch. I really enjoyed every minute of it. I didn't check my phone. I didn't get distracted. Like, I watched it with my wife, and usually, like, when we're watching a movie and stuff, I'll, like, I'll talk to her, like, say stuff and, like, give her useless facts because I'm full of them. But I was just, like, locked in, tunnel vision. Like, that movie was the only thing that I was paying attention to, and it had me hooked. And with that being said, I'm really stoked to see how Halloween ends. Um, will it be the end of Michael Myers, or is this just going to be like the end of Michael Myers for now? Like, I really hope that they don't try to ever reboot it in the future again. Like, I think this was good enough. Don't keep rehashing the same old shit. Like, Hollywood has the tendency to do that, and they hack the fuck out of movies, and it's just to make a quick buck. And they're like, "Ooh, I don't have any new inventive ideas, but let's like totally reboot this franchise, cash in on that, and people come in for the nostalgia factor." But I think that they did a really good job with this one. I think it's David Gordon Green and Danny McBride, which, damn, seeing him as an actor, and in the movies he's played in, I did not expect his mind to like concoct such a brilliant horror movie with. I mean, obviously he had David Gordon Green to like fuel off of too, and I know John Carpenter was involved with at least Halloween 2018, but like it's crazy because I would not have expected that from him. But solid movie. As I said earlier in the movie, or sorry, it's late and I've had a long week. As I said earlier in the video, if you haven't seen Halloween Kills, either go see it in theaters, which would be my highest recommendation, because these movies are the best when you're seeing it with surround sound on the big screen. Nothing compares. But if you're, still weary of COVID, or just don't want to be around a bunch of people, or it's just not financially something you can do right now, Peacock, the streaming service, if you get the premium, then you can stream Halloween Kills on there for free. So, like I said, I could go on into this for forever. There's so many pieces and parts of the movie that were so great and worth discussing, but this is already a 37-minute video, and I know a lot of people on YouTube don't have the the capacity to sit through this long of a video, so I better cut this short. You guys know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will catch you guys later. Have a good rest of your night.